Oh.
Tim Sabian just came in and kissed John on the mouth.
Hey, Joey Salvia here. In our last episode, Gregg and Carl were hanging with Stuttering John at our new Westwood One Podcast Network studio. You know, the one with only 3 mics in the live room.
Holy shit, Tim got fat and gray.
Our other guest, Jackie the Jokeman Martling, was standing by patiently.
Opie, how many times have I asked you to bring Jackie in?
Jackie, but we booked you last minute, so I'm trying to make this work.
Jackie.
I mean, what do I gotta do? Do I have to get a letter of introduction to get a sit down? He's got me waiting in the lobby.
Then there was that 4th mic in the control room where producer cop Uber fan Mike Saffo likes to sit.
He's pissed at me.
Although he seemed to be having a few challenges.
You got to turn that mic up.
You know what I mean.
You got to turn that mic. You got to turn the mic up. Joey's going to go nuts.
Jack, the real reason we haven't got Jackie is because we only have 3 mics.
So that gets you all caught up. Now we can dive back in with Gregg, Carl, John, and Jackie for a few more laughs, shameless book plugs, and great stories on OpieRadio.
You both have books out. Jackie, you got a book out too?
Well, his is out now. Mine isn't out yet, but you can pre-order it on Amazon.
His hasn't flopped yet.
It's
Mine sold.
His already flopped.
Mine sold into the dozens.
Yeah.
and you talk about your time on Howard, because I haven't read it yet.
It's called The Jokeman, Bow to Stern, and if you just put in Bow to Stern, you get a 6th grade sailing manual. So you got to put it in The Jokeman, and it's like like 75% stories of the show. You know, some about me and about my life a little bit, and of course that was enough to make the listeners complain, like, who the fuck cares about what happened to you? You know,
right.
And it's not cutting and mean. You know, there's a couple things in there I'm sure Howard would much rather have not been in there, but fuck that.
Right. It's your story.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of Jack. I listen to him when you're on the radio with Mark Simone all the time.
He really gives me room, you know.
Yeah, and then we tell you, and Mark Simone's, it's like, 770. It's like everybody's like, and the weather and traffic, and then here comes Jackie with like a Jew joke and a black joke. Like
he just
at 2 in the afternoon. It's just like, I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I've known him for 40 years. Back when I used to run a comedy show Wednesday nights at the Bitter End, and and Simone would come with Henny Youngman's grandson, and the MC from Dangerfields, and Bob, somebody, the gay guy that used to book it, and there was nobody there, and we just laugh our asses off. So all of a sudden it's 40 years later, and he's carrying around Trump banners, and we're completely diametrically opposed, but we're old pals. So he just lets me call up, and he plugs my shows, and I tell my ridiculous jokes. I do that with David Feldman, too. You know, we just... I don't do anything. I don't say hello and what do you think about the weather and who's going to be president. Just joke.
You bring up something there, though. There was a time where if your friend didn't line up with you politically, you still got along with each other.
Yeah, of course.
That's not the case anymore.
No.
It's like it's an all-out war.
It is. It's
the country is completely split in two.
But listen, on that note,
if somebody has a vagina.
What's that?
If somebody has a vagina.
I mean,
that's a deal breaker. Who cares?
Oh.
Anyway, on that note, my book is called Easy.
We were partying.
My book is called Easy for You to Say, and it'll be out sometime in October.
And your book is gonna.
Yeah, my book is mean and cutting.
Really?
No, wait a minute. What do you mean sometime in October? You got to have a publishing date.
Yeah, it's supposed to be October 16th, but we got delayed, so now they're saying they have to find out from the printer.
How perfect is that?
Yeah, a stutterer's
This book is
gets
coming
delayed.
out with a stutter.
Yeah, I get
It's
it.
October the 4th, 5th, 6th, 23rd.
Yeah.
So
why is it getting delayed?
Because I was doing the audiobook and I noticed a bunch of mistakes.
Jesus.
too many R's.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm only on page 7.
The audiobook's going to be a box set.
There it is.
Did you guys you didn't read my book? You ever hear the story what we did to Quentin the Stutter? Do you know who that was?
No, I don't.
There was a guy that didn't stutter like John. He was a guy who would talk regular and then would hit a brick wall. Like he'd be saying, "What are you doing today?" But the pauses were so long that you could dance and folly. And so, of course, we said, let's have him be the announcer for the pay-per-view special. So we got him a T-shirt that looked like a tuxedo. And we said, don't worry, Quentin, we're going to give you the opening. And we wrote a nice opening for him and let him read it and study it for a week, right? Yeah. Now, I know John knows that they told us that one of the hardest things for a stutterer to do is say his own name. And there's certain words, whatever they were for him, that were especially tough. And they said, all right, we're on 30 seconds. Everybody ready? And we went up to Quentin and took away the paper and gave him a different paper. And it said, hello, I'm Quentin the Stutterer. That's right, I'm... And the show was almost over. It was the greatest gag. It was so fucking mean. It was unbelievable.
It was so fucking mean.
That's why I love Jackie. One day I remember when Trump was putting all the kids in the cages, and you call Mark Simone. So it's like they're having a big conversation about Trump and the little kids in the cages and stuff.
Right.
And all of a sudden, and then we have Jackie the Jokeman Martling on it. He comes on right off the bat. I want to say hi to Melville Fish Shop. They make the best. They come here and get shrimp.
Bayville Seafood.
Bayville Seafood. That's what it is. Bayville Seafood. I mean, unbelievable.
I never listened. If I listened to the show before I called in, I'd be so angry.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't agree, with it.
So he goes in there, Jew joke, bounces out.
And then he's back out.
And that's it. Mark Simone again with the kids in the cages.
And he's walking the beach again.
Dude, it was.
I want to go to your house. I
Hold
can't
on.
believe you
No, I
fucking blew
didn't
us
mean to
off.
interrupt because John was saying when his book's coming out. You never did establish that. Third week?
It's supposed to be October 16th, but I think it's going to be like a week delay. But anyway, this is order it on Amazon. Amazon.com.
But you got to have a release party, John.
What?
A release party.
Let me know. I know some restaurant people.
Is this a legit book?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
With a real publisher and all?
I had a release this morning.
Give us one good story from the book.
Oh, God.
That's how you sell the book.
Yeah.
That's how you
Give us a good one from the book.
Oh, jeez.
Come on.
There's so many. I'll tell you this. Well, this is. I don't know if you were there then, Jackie.
Tell him about the whore in the cockpit.
No, Howard.
Yes. Tell me that.
Howard was goofing on our Christmas gifts. Like everyone gave him Christmas gifts, and I was like,
You had to give him Christmas gifts?
yeah, everybody gave him, and that year Howard gave us our Christmas gift, and it literally
It came in the mail. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it was a canister of popcorn, 3 different flavors: caramel, regular, and cheddar. And it had our name written on around it.
It was a round can like a foot and a half by 2 feet tall, and it was divided like with a piece of cardboard with 3 disgusting kinds.
And I literally, Opie, I kid you not, I literally stuck my arm in there, thinking there had to be a check on the bottom.
Sure.
I thought like a crack eject
Like
prize.
this is the goof.
This is the goof, but
if you
to be a
dig,
check.
there's
Let me
something
give
in there.
him.
So I went on the air, and Howard was goofing on. I was like, "Well, Howard, you gave me a canister with fucking popcorn in it for Christmas." And he goes, "Oh, well, that was Alice." And I go, "I stuck my arm in there looking for a check." And then I walked out of the studio, and Ganji, the guy in the show,
Sure.
goes, "I did the same thing." I put my arm in there.
The whole studio.
Let me tell you what it was. She must have gone.
Through popcorn.
Okay, she must have gone to some boutique. She went to a boutique where they said, you buy this canister, and they wrote in very ornate, fancy lettering to Jackie and Nancy, Jokeland with the date. And I'm sure that's what did it for John and everybody. And that was, I guess, what was supposed to make it special. So you could keep the fucking garbage can that came in. And John calls me up and says, "Did you find the check?" I almost fucking had a heart attack. I laughed so hard.
Howard doesn't give a fuck about you people.
Oh, I got. Listen to this one. Listen to this one. You will
Makes
not.
me so happy. You don't even exist.
You will not believe.
When he turns that mic off, he doesn't even know your names.
I don't know if John knows
Sorry,
this
guys.
story. Listen to this one. One year, and I don't know.
yeah.
I don't
You
know.
told me it.
I don't know if you got.
Is this about the camera? Yeah.
I
One
think
year-
I like Howard now.
Howard's like, he might be
See,
your brother.
he's so disillusioned. He thinks he's still at the top. So we get our presents,
Oh,
and I
fuck.
open my present, and this is early on in the digital revolution, and it's a Canon camera, like a nice little Canon camera, and it can be hooked up to your computer, and
Nice.
which I didn't know how to do, but I'm like, now that's a decent fucking gift. Like, I'll be goddamned, and I was like. It wasn't $4,000, but it was like it bordered on being a gift. And I'm looking at it. I'm saying, hold on. Listen. So I go to gigs. I do a lot of gigs, and I go to a lot of places and see a lot of people. So I want to have my camera with me in the car, but there's no case. And I'm like, I never heard of a camera coming without a case. And I called up and I said, hey, I think I called Canon and said there must have been a mistake because I got a camera and I got the strap and I got the batteries and I got everything, but there was no case. And they said, no, that's impossible. You had to get a case. And somebody said, oh, but unless it was one of those promotional cameras. They sent out cases and cases of promotional cameras that didn't. He must have got a case of fucking cameras. What are the odds of us finding out? What are the fucking odds of us?
The odds of you calling for a fucking case.
Giving Jackie something. That's the odds. 100%. 100 fucking percent.
I needed one.
Jackie's like an old lady from Fort Lauderdale.
Where's my fucking case?
I can't. I need a case.
I would have ordered it, but the story's too good.
Oh my God! So you guys were digging around the popcorn for a check.
Yeah, and then
Jesus.
and then another year he
Everybody
gave us
sticky hands into the
Hilarious.
studio.
another year he
And they got
gave
cheddar dust all over their
Caramel.
yeah.
in their arm hair.
That never comes out.
It was that nasty shit, you know. The popcorns, it's like yellow with like sealed butter on it, you know, like that disgusting.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't eat the popcorn. But then like the next year, he gave us a tablet, a leather-bound tablet with a pen, and on
A journal?
Yeah, like a journal. But on the cover of it, it was Howard's tattoo. Like it was like an engraving of Howard's tattoo. That was a Ralph idea. Who the fuck wants Howard's tattoo on a
I
fucking
can't wait to hear this podcast again.
Wait, now, what? I don't
Like in my
even know what
car.
you mean. I must have been gone by then. What tattoo?
I'm listening right now.
Howard's Capricorn tattoo. Like,
I don't even know.
of the Capricorn
Wait.
symbol.
So he gave
That's
you a
gay
book
that you know
with
that.
his.
With his tattoo. That was got to be a Ralph idea. With his tattoo on the cover.
No, bro.
Yeah.
You can't give that to somebody.
And one year we got a Howard Stern show, like it was a watch that said
Nice.
Howard Stern.
That's a nice gift.
Wait a second. It said on the
on the watch, Howard Stern. But then,
what brand was
from
it?
what I hear from the serious guys, Opie, from the serious guys, I heard that for Christmas he gave the whole staff a Sirius radio with a year.
No, that's not true.
I swear to
That's not true.
God,
Come on.
Jackie, did you hear that? I heard that from Doug and
No, but-
Scott and all those guys. Like all the E guys told me that's what they got.
Opie's the complete opposite. He never gave me popcorn, but gave me a fucking check.
He gave you-
I didn't have to dig through anything.
Oh man.
Oh, that's very nice.
When I did a serious show, listen, I was just a guest, right?
Yeah.
And I would come in, and then the show went sideways.
Yeah.
And he came up to me, he goes, "Here's some money. Thank you for what you did." That was it. I was like,
No, I
wow.
threw it in your car
Threw it
because
in my car,
I knew he wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
So we were outside the Sirius building, and I go, Carl, one more thing, because he pulled up in his car, and I threw it at him, knowing because he wouldn't. I know he wouldn't have taken it.
Well, did he cash it?
I would assume so.
All right, so then yes,
I
he was
literally-
taking it.
Yeah.
I took it. I put the hatches in the car, and I ran to chase.
Look,
him.
Is the Secret Service here or what?
Is everything all right? Okay.
There's a bunch of
It's
guys.
unbelievable.
I guess you guys.
Did you hear about that, Opie?
What?
You know when I pranked the
Oh
president.
no, I want to talk about that, but I do want
Secret
to.
Service is at my door.
I do want to say this. I wasn't perfect, but when I could, I try to take care of my guys.
Yeah,
You got to,
No,
man.
like when I first started as an intern, Jackie would and every once in a while, like I think twice, he gave me a check for $1,000
There you go.
because he knew I was struggling, and and I was taking the train in from.
Nice.
Oh,
from
no,
Long
I
Island.
don't even know if I knew that. That's good. That's good to hear that.
Yeah. So
A
you know,
grand?
You were breaking your balls. You know, I'd take you to lunch here and there.
Yeah,
People,
yeah.
people took care of you.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely no. I always talk about Jackie would take me to the Fryers and we would eat, and that's where Jackie and I saw Baba Booey eat shrimp, and that became a bit for fucking. It has never stopped.
Oh.
As Jackie said, the shrimp didn't have a chance.
Gary had Sophie's fucking choice every time we went to the Friars. It was me and John and Gary and whoever else straggled along with us.
Yeah.
And he wanted shrimp so fucking bad. But he also knew that if he got it, that he was going to go the gauntlet. And those big fucking
plunger puss lips.
And he put the shrimp in there.
Where you guys at with Gary these days?
He's not going to be happy with my with
your
my
book.
Yeah, I don't speak to. I mean, Jack, you weren't there for a lot, but he became the ultimate. I do tell the story, where he threw you under the bus, which I thought wasn't,
Tell that story.
Yeah, that was when. Opie, this is how bad it gets. And
I wasn't real aware of that at the time.
Yeah, but everybody after you left, like the E guys would tell me all the time that Gary would be in there trashing us every single day. But anyway, this is the best. When they came, they came with us, with the E contracts. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
they're handing me a note to make. I whatever. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. I was making sure everything's cool.
All right.
Because I was panicking that we're not getting this recorded right.
Oh, okay.
So continue. Sorry.
So
you're the one that hired a fucking cop.
Yeah, Anthony's got a cop too, producer. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
But anyway, they so the thing was, I had an attorney who Jackie ended up using. This guy Larry Shire.
Okay.
So he said, even though they're only going to pay me $200 a week, he said, all I want you to do is ask their, Don Buchwald's guy, Richard Bosch.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said.
Wow, he really hates Richard.
Yeah. Yeah. So he says
he despises Richard.
So he sends Dick Bosch over, over, and all I say to him is, listen, I'm gonna sign it, but could you please just fax a copy over to my attorney? Bosch puts the contract back in the envelope, closes it up, never sends it over to my attorney, and I'm off the E show. I wasn't allowed to be on the E show. I didn't say I wasn't going to sign. I just asked for it. So, and the whole thing with Gary is that Jackie and Gary and I, wherever it was, Jack, we're all talking. And Jackie said, hey, we should all, protest, there's strength in numbers. And it wasn't serious. It was just kind of like.
See, this is John's version. I think all I said was $10,000 a year each. That's bullshit. I think that's as far. But
well, yeah, but no, okay, even if it,
right.
However it was. But it was looked upon as Gary, as Jackie was trying to, get us all going and rally the troops. So
you could have said motivate.
I know.
No, he couldn't.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
It's not an R though.
Exactly. M's was my problem too. You moron. No, but then Gary goes to Howard and said, Jackie's trying to get everyone to go against you with the C contract. So so when I finally, because they had built a wall around Jackie, he was off the show too, so they built the wall around him. But so then I finally felt so bad, so I went to the principal's office. I went to Howard's office, and I went in there. I was practically crying because I was young, I was like 22, 23, and I just said, I go, Howard, I'm sorry about asking to fax the contract over my attorney. He goes, yeah, John, listen, you got to stop listening to Jackie. He's a troublemaker. You got to stop listening to him. And it was just like, so Gary must have gotten to his head and told Howard that it was Jackie trying to get everyone to get. And I just felt bad for Jackie because it really wasn't the case.
Right.
But this is what Gary would do, and it continued, even to this day. And that's my biggest problem with Gary. And I talk a lot about the ways he would do.
Now,
what a sad way. He must be. Living like that, like he lives, what a sad way to live.
Oh.
I can't, Howard Stern, how can you be happy?
Well,
what's crazy to me about the whole Gary thing is that for 30 years, or however many years it's been, he's been in the middle like that and had to make decisions like that. And, he's got a wife and kids, all right, so he knows where his bread is buttered, so maybe he's not doing the right thing by us, but maybe he's making those decisions. But that's a tough road to hoe. And after all those decades of dealing with that, all of a sudden Howard brings in this broad. And Gary's knocked down a few levels, and
after all those years
of taking all that and
the show,
taking that shit,
and the show wasn't suffering to the point where you needed to bring someone in new to give it some fresh life. But I'm going to go I'm going to go in a different direction with this now because Howard Stern show, the Opie and Anthony show, we were pretty big as well. Like the toxicity, it sounds like you guys didn't escape that. It sounded like your environment was extremely toxic as well. And I want to ask both of you guys that. Why do you think that is? Because in our world we had plenty of money.
Because we're all fuck ups. We're all from dysfunctional families, and we're
handpicked. There's two distinct managing ways. One way is to give you lots of money, pat you on the back, tell you what a great job you're doing, and all for one, and let's really kick ass. And the other one is divide and conquer. Don't tell Carl what you're making. Don't tell Opie what Carl's making. Don't let anybody know who's doing what. And everybody. Fred's been afraid for his job for 40 fucking years. He created that show a year before Robin got there. We can't begin to sing Fred's praises.
What do you mean he created it?
Most talented, the music under the commercials and
the soundboards and all that.
Just the whole fucking thing. He had all the one by one. Howard would take his impressions. And he just did everything, and he was absolutely so important to that show. Like, he's the only one that could get Howard to shut up and go to commercial, and he was like riding shotgun on the hardest radio personality in the world for 40 years, and he's scared of his own shadow, and he's so fucking talented.
Does Howard ever give him a break and say, "Hey, Fred, chill the fuck out, you're good"?
Well, that's the thing I was just talking about in your documentary I shot today, Jackie. I mentioned how toxic it was. I think the one thing, and Jackie, maybe I'm wrong here, but in speaking for you, he can't hear me. I don't know.
What's happening? Where does that? What's going on? Where did Carl go? Now Jackie.
There's more notes.
Carl's doing a phone call, and Jackie's in here now. So
Jackie,
continue.
The one thing that I was talking about on your documentary, and I don't know about how you felt, but I did. I did say I'm sure
Trump didn't have Carl taken out of the country. Did he?
I'm sure it had something to do with you too, Jackie. Did it hurt? Well, I know it bothered you. I don't know if you're gonna say it now, but that Howard was never a guy to give you accolades. He was never a guy.
Oh, I talk about that in 18 fucking years. He never said you really should go see Jackie's show. He's got a really funny act.
Yeah.
The closest I came to getting a compliment ever was Robin came to see me at Caroline's when it was on 8th Avenue.
Yeah.
So that's 3 or 4 Carolines.
Sure.
And she came to see me with her boyfriend before Mr. X, whoever the hell it was 40 years ago. And she said, "How did I went to see Jackie last night?" And he said, "Well," she says, "I can't say anything negative." That was the positive review was, "I can't say anything negative." Not that she wouldn't if she could. What she meant was,
yeah. The other thing that bothered me, I can imagine how it bothered you because Jackie, he was writing for him a lot longer than I was. But when I started, to write for Howard, I would write a joke and it would get a big laugh in the studio, and I would go in after thinking that he would say, "Hey, great joke." Never.
God, what was that about, man?
And I don't know if he ever did to you. Like on any of the jokes that you wrote, said.
No, but that was I didn't care. That was my job.
No, here's the thing. But here's the difference. Jay Leno, because I was a writer for Jay.
Yeah.
He would come up to me on a number of occasions. "Sean, you're doing a great job. Keep it up." I mean, and the head writer. That's just the difference.
The difference is that Jay is secure in his abilities and what he does,
and he appreciates what you're doing for him.
But it's fascinating. I want to get back to this though because it's fascinating to me because I've gone through a lot of therapy because of the O&A shit.
Yeah,
and we had an incredibly toxic environment, and it sounds like you guys had an incredibly toxic environment. I'm really trying to figure that shit out for real. Why
was yours toxic? You mean from up on high?
Man, me and Ant didn't even we didn't even like each other for most of that time.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. We didn't talk out our shit. Every once in a while when it got really bad, we'd get on the phone with each other, laugh like idiots, we were best friends, and then it would quickly go back to not talking and just being this thing. And it's unfortunate. But I handpicked most of the people on the O&A side there, and I knew as a guy that loves doing this was that the people with the problems made great radio, but it wasn't an easy environment to hang in.
I'm assuming,
assuming that's how it was with the Howard gang.
Look, I was beaten. Robin was molested. Howard was put down by his father. Gary had a crazy mother. I mean, like, we all were just like from this crazy.
Raised by drunks, but maybe,
Yeah.
but the point is that those are also the people that go into show business and go into
Yeah, of
comedy,
course.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of opportunities to bring other guys on the show and in my regular life.
This
when
is
I'm not-
Charles. He was a valedictorian.
Right.
Well, tell him to go fuck himself.
But the people that weren't a little off, I was bored shitless by.
Of course.
So, but then in the end, it bit me in the ass because then everyone attacks me in the end, and it's just exhausting. So it's fascinating to see that you guys went through a lot of the same shit.
I think there were actual times where maybe he would have said, you were really on today, but I don't know if that was him. One thing that he specifically said, because it was so rare, was we went to Scores after the show so long ago. I know we were still on 600 Madison, and it was so long ago that we actually walked from Scores back to the station.
Wow.
Me and Howard and Fred and the gang. I mean, that was pretty rare, in those days, he didn't have the limo every 5 seconds or whatever. And I remember we're walking from Scores back to the station, and he's like 9 feet tall, and I was walking alongside him, and he put his arm around my shoulder, and he said, bringing you on the show full time is the single best business decision I ever made.
Damn.
Wow.
There
And
you
that
go.
was once in 18 years, but
Yeah.
that was a very heavy.
Yeah, but we did a lot of drinking at Scores.
No, but he didn't.
Oh, he did.
He never, ever, ever had a drink until after I left the show.
Wow,
Not a drink.
So you stopped and he picked up the fucking.
It's like like we're running the 440. Here you go. Here's the fucking baton. My Jewish friend.
Is he? You think he's happy?
Oh
No.
yes. Listen.
There's a no and there's a yes.
No,
You hear him dancing?
no. Jackie's being facetious. No way is he. I mean, here's a guy who goes to therapy 4 times a week. There's no way he's happy.
I got to tell you this. You guys probably know some of the shit that me and him and between the two shows. I actually reached out and tried to talk to him to just like see what's up, because he apologized to Brother Weeze, who he beat the shit out of when he went into syndication in Rochester. You know the old gag. He would find the big morning guy and just find that one thing that would drive him nuts. And, Weeze has a mentally handicapped daughter, and he went in hard. And many years later, this only happened probably about 4 or 5 years, he called up Weeze and apologized for everything. And Weeze, the only reason I attacked Howard so bad, because Weeze was my mentor. And when I always said to myself, if I ever get the chance, I'm fucking headhunting. And that's where all that began in my world. So Weeze knew the shit I took because I was sticking up for Weeze. So Weeze goes to Howard, what about my boy Opie? And Howard goes, I'm not ready for Opie yet. And then
meanwhile, you never did anything.
I was just defending,
except
they
for
would
competition.
Oh no, I defended Weeze's honor, and then you know how he tore down radio shows. He was going after me and Ann, and me and Ann would have these talks like he ain't fucking doing that shit to us.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we went back at him hard. So
you went on the offensive.
But fast forward, we were both at SiriusXM for a really long time,
Yeah.
and I reached out to all the guys we all know behind the scenes.
Of course.
And
Because
he didn't
it's
want,
show business.
He didn't want anything
Well,
to do with it. I tried. I said, look, I don't need to be on your show. I don't need to talk about this, but I think it would do us both good if we sat down and talked.
I'll tell you a story.
Lay down your tomahawks and act like
Whatever.
human beings.
Well, I mean,
I'll tell you
I showed some of the guys here the video, which I passed Howard I started passing Howard in the hall when he changed his hours. And I'm with Kenny, Club Soda Kenny. He's with Ronnie. Ronnie was always great to me.
Yeah, Ronnie's a
and
great
we're
guy.
walking down the hall, and I see Howard, and I just go, you know what? Fuck it. Good morning, Howard. Nothing behind it. And then we passed, and Kenny starts giggling like a schoolgirl. I go, Kenny, what's up? He goes, he's so fucking pissed. You just said hi to him. I'm like, are you insane?
Yeah, that's what it's become.
And that is, there's no word to describe that except sad.
But I'm like,
That is fucking sad.
Well, listen,
I
let me
don't
tell you
need
the
anything
story,
or
Jack.
want anything. Hold on, I just got to finish this part.
yeah.
So then that happened a couple more times because he would come out of the freight elevator. It was the only way, he couldn't avoid me. I couldn't avoid him. Next thing you know, I find out that the SiriusXM is shutting down the hallways.
Yeah.
And after I asked the right people, they go, it's absolutely because of you. He doesn't want to fucking deal with you. So in the elevator banks, you know where that is? And then the glass, I would have to sit out there. The video's on my YouTube channel. We could put it in the description of this podcast, whatever, but it's done incredibly well. I had to wait until he passed by to go into his section, and then you see the security guard finally going, "Okay, come on in, Ope." And then I show the emptiness of SiriusXM because it's 7. I guess at this point it was 7 in the morning. I'm like, just because I wanted to say, good morning to the guy. After all these years,
we spent a week on the air goofing on the fact that Michael Jackson didn't want anybody looking him in the eye.
Right.
David Letterman.
People like that.
Right.
But listen, I'm going to tell you this story because you guys are talking about Howard being happy, and this is in my book too, and this is from a very good source from somebody that we all know. In fact, I think he walked by a few minutes ago. But anyway,
good secret.
Anyway,
I think he kept it vague enough.
Yes,
Jesus.
He was fighting. This person was a higher up at Sirius, and he was fighting for JD's raise. He's trying to get JD a raise. And he was talking to Howard about it, and he said to Howard, he goes, he said, "Come on, this will make JD happy." And Howard said, "I don't care about JD's happiness. I only care about my own happiness." And that was it. I mean, that was told. I mean, that's just. I mean, come on, Jackie. I just can't imagine.
That's
Howard,
in your book.
Yeah.
All right, so I won't get in trouble for that. I'm in good standings with SiriusXM these days.
No, I'll get in trouble, but it's the truth. I mean,
you're just telling the truth.
I mean, they can sue me, but I have a witness.
Right.
I have a witness. I mean, so I don't know what they.
Me and the Cuban love SiriusXM.
One of the best places ever.
Oh, why? Are you going to get a show back there?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nah, we might go somewhere else. I don't know.
Well, hell, fucking, I could be third mic.
We might. We have an offer. We have an offer to go back to radio. So.
John, if you see my lifestyle, the chances of someone else being a second mic is like 90%.
How'd you get demoted to the other room?
Because I want to listen to you because you're funny as fuck.
Wow, look at that, Jackie.
Look at that. There's a
very nice. So what are we going to do when
That's my luck. I got a fan. It's a foreigner.
So what are we going to do when we go to your house and podcast? Because I'm still going to do that.
We're going to do a podcast, but it's
are we
a
gonna
nice
do a little
place.
of this?
It's on the water.
We can do a little of this.
Smoke pot?
Yeah.
Does Rose Kennedy?
Holy shit! Fucking suddenly Jackie's stuttering.
Stuttering John.
Does Rose Kennedy have a black dress?
A Rose Kennedy reference, Jack.
The reason I stammered is because I was saying Ethel Kennedy. I wanted to say Rose Kennedy. I couldn't find it.
I love indica.
We'll have
Right, there you go.
We'll have a wonderful time.
Do you do?
No, I told you I want you guys to come out. I'll cook steak. I'll make Jackie's
You
homemade,
canceled on us. Fuck you.
No, I did. I canceled because I have a book signing in Northville, New Jersey, Thursday night at 7 p.m. This probably isn't going to air for another 6 months.
Oh, hell no. No, I want to put this out like as soon as we get off the air.
I'm with my friend John DeMore, and he asked me to do this book signing, and I'm doing it. And
what's the story, Jack?
It's Books and Greetings.
Yeah.
Books and Greetings.
It's a biggie.
You do edibles, Jackie?
No.
I
haven't eaten any kind of pot or anything
but
since college. Because in college, I had you'd eat a brownie and then you'd eat another brownie and eat because you're not getting high, and then an hour later you're on fucking Pluto.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end, and then you say, "All right, it's been a couple months. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to be smart." You eat a brownie, and eat another, and then. 3 or 4 times I ate so many I went to Pluto. I said, I am never doing that again.
Have some willpower. Everyone knows if you do it, you got to wait the 75 minutes.
But nobody knew then, and
I'm just rookie.
I've had
wanted a fucking brownie. Look at him.
Look at that.
I've had a what do you call it? The
Fucking rookie.
the Rice Krispie treats. I've had a Rice Krispie treat, a wrapped up Rice Krispie treat with pot in it in my refrigerator for 6 years. I'm afraid of it.
They figure it out, the edibles, though, with the chocolate bars
It's
and
next to
everything.
Howard's popcorn.
God damn, that's a funny story.
Oh, it's the greatest.
Hey.
Incredible.
The popcorn. You know what? I took a picture of the canister and the fucking gave it to the book guys. I didn't put it in the book. I don't know why. I still have it.
Yeah, I got a picture of that canister somewhere too.
So,
because I had it for years. I used it as a garbage can because it's a great story. Wow, that's a nice garbage can.
You know how-
sit down and let me tell you.
You know how good this episode of the podcast is? That we're like almost an hour and a half or so in, and I didn't even ask you about the Trump thing yet.
Oh, yeah.
That shit was crazy.
Where were you when you heard that, Jackie?
Did you believe for a moment that he was actually going to get on the phone? And we all knew Trump, by the way, before he became president. He did our show.
He was a dick forever.
I say it like this. He was entertaining as all hell, but as soon as we hung up that phone with him, we're like, wow, is this guy full of himself?
Oh, my God.
But, man, did he give good radio.
When he came on the show, he didn't know there was another. He barely knew Howard was in the room. You know, he's just a spoiled motherfucking brat from word go. You know, and if you grew up on the North Shore of Long Island, you know a few of those, you know.
Well, he was nice to me in the beginning. Well, he's still nice to me. I mean, I would call him when I was buying a condo in Manhattan. I was going to buy, you know, in Battery Park, and he goes, "Well, I'm against the land lease, John." You know, he's going through his calculator, going through the numbers, telling me how much per square foot, and you know, and he kind of talked me out of doing it, which I'm glad, because then I bought another condo, which I made a lot more money on. But he was always good to me. Like he took me out to lunch, you know, when I was performing at his casino, talked the whole time about himself,
right?
And you know, I hung out with him at an NBC party with him and Melania. He talked the whole time about himself. But you know,
but that's still hanging.
Yeah.
Well, he invited me.
I bet you spent more time hanging out with him than you spent hanging out with Howard.
No, I hung out with Howard a lot.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I never did.
I went out to dinner with Howard all the time. That's the weird part about the whole thing. It was tough.
And now you're trashing him. Way to go, John.
Yeah. Well, if I could say,
way to go, John.
If I could say anything, Opie,
John's food court.
Opie,
luckily nobody will read the book.
Shit, sorry.
He started trashing
way to go.
me. He started trashing me way before I trashed him.
I'm joking, Jesus, and I hope Howard knows I'm joking.
Oh, he does.
Boy,
he does.
Oh boy,
he can take a joke.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
But Trump invited me over to his the Trump Tower many times.
Yeah.
Before he became president. I wish I took him up on it just to check it out, man.
Yeah. Well,
wouldn't you be curious?
Of course, I don't know why. Because his son started coming into the studio a lot, and I actually really liked Donald Trump Jr. I really did. And the guy that's on social media just fighting everybody, I don't know that version of him. I really don't.
He's a real dick on.
I really don't know, because when he would come in,
as a
he'd
person,
be
he's a good guy.
Oh my God, I thought so. He was so nice. He was always inviting me out to lunch and to go. I do a little fly fishing, and I know where he fly fishes, and I've been up there a few times. And he's like, "Let's do this together, and we can shoot guns." And
why would Donald invite you? Was it because
he just liked us? I don't know. He liked doing our show.
I'm surprised, because he always did Howard, and you know, you would think he would have to draw that line. You know, that Howard, you know, would have.
No, you don't tell. There were some guys you just didn't tell what to do.
Yeah,
I know the list of people that stopped doing our show because they were scared of what Howard would think. Yes.
Who?
I don't want to get into it.
Oh, come on. Anyway.
Fred.
Both?
We'll get back to John's big Trump story, but first I need to address one thing, because I'm sure by now you can hear that Carl's mic is hardly being picked up at times. That's because Uber fan cop turned producer Mike Sappho isn't wearing any headphones, so he has no clue that the channel the Cuban's on is crapping out. He has no real reference point, so it's hit or miss moving forward. In cop lingo, it'd be like putting a blindfold on before shooting your gun.
I'm hurting too, Op.
Usually we don't like to point out our fuck-ups, but we also don't want you to think we don't realize something's up with Carl's mic. So just tweet at Mike Sappho, S-A-F-O, if you have any issues with the following.
Says they can't hear me, Mike. You piece of shit.
And you may want to include hashtag headphones, asshole, and then possibly this won't happen again in the future. You're up, Greg. Greg, where are you?
Opie went to the bathroom, Dad.
Bathroom? What's he doing in the bathroom?
He's got a new toothbrush. I think he's brushing his teeth.
Oh, all right. Thanks. How'd you get on this podcast, Roman?
I have an iPad and internet.
Seriously, how'd you get on here?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
All right, here's Greg from the bathroom.
GetQuip.com/Opie. I love my electric toothbrush from Quip. I gotta tell you, it's sleek, it looks cool, it has no charger. As soon as I got my Quip in the mail, I threw my old electric toothbrush right in the garbage. With Quip, it charges with one single A battery, so it's really nice and compact and sweet. One of the most important things we do for our health every day is brushing our teeth, yet most of us don't do it properly. Quip is a better electric toothbrush created by dentists and designers. Quip was designed to make brushing your teeth more simple, affordable, and even enjoyable. It has sensitive sonic vibrations, gentle enough on your sensitive gums. Why, you might ask? Well, people brush too hard and some electric toothbrushes are too abrasive. It has a built-in 2-minute timer pulse. You might hear the Quip vibrating right now. Well, every 30 seconds, it reminds you when to switch sides, helping guide a full and even clean. Up to 90% of us don't brush for a full 2 minutes or don't clean evenly. Also has an awesome carrying case, really simple and nice. Like I said, sleek and compact. You can just throw it in a suitcase and go. Here's the best part. Brush heads are automatically delivered on a dentist-recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5. 3 out of 4 of us use bristles that are old, worn out, and ineffective. Not with Quip, because all of a sudden in the mail, you got a new brush head. You're like, oh, it's time to change my brush head on my Quip. They make it so easy for you. Quip is one of the first electric toothbrushes accepted by the American Dental Association and has thousands of verified 5-star reviews. That's why I love my Quip, and why they're backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/Opie right now, you can see how cool this electric toothbrush is. That's right, I said cool. I think you're really going to like the design of this thing. And if you also go to getquip.com/Opie right now, you will get your first refill pack for free with the Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free if you go to getquip.com/Opie. That's GETQUIP.com/Opie. Getquip.com/Opie. Oh, I love my Quip. And I think you will too.
Opie Radio.
So the Trump thing. Walk us through this shit.
We were on my podcast, and we were trying to get Casey Armstrong from the show.
That is the single best part of this show.
I know.
He talked to Trump because he couldn't get
I couldn't get KC. Yeah, what's more, KC said
you couldn't make that up.
KC said he was busy, so it's more unbelievable. The guy get in trouble getting in touch with Trump is that Casey was too busy.
Right.
He had something to do.
Yeah. But anyway, so then we were like, "Fuck it, let's call the White House." So we Googled the number. I called like, "Hey, it's Stuttering John. I've hung out with Donald. Just no thanks," and they hung up. So then my producer's like, "All right, let's call as Melendez, like in my cousin Vinny instead of Gallo.
Yeah,
it's okay." So then I called him with his bad English accent. "Hello, this is Sean Moore. I represent Senator Bob Melendez." And they go, "Who?" I go, "Sean is in Connery, Moore is in Roger. I'm a big Bond fan." As if I named my fucking self.
Right.
And they go, okay, well, all right. So let's talk to the president. He's in Fargo right now. They give me the location of where the president is. I mean, they might as well give me the longitude and latitude. Wow. And I go, yeah, all right. They go, yeah, we'll call you back. So they call me back. Now, keep in mind, Senator Melendez is in New Jersey.
Right.
So they call me back. They go, we have one question for you. Why are you calling from an 818 area code? I go, oh, it's because we're on holiday. As if my fucking area code is going to change.
An area code has had anything to do with it for 20 years.
Yeah, I know. So then they go, all right, we'll have somebody call you back. I'm on the way to a date, which is even more unbelievable than Casey being too busy. I'm on the way to a date, and suddenly I get a call. It's from a weird number. It's a 202, which is Washington, D.C. And I answer it. It's Jared Kushner. It's Jared Kushner. He goes, hello, is this a senator? Oh, yeah. How's it going? It's stuttering. Fucking doesn't matter. So, yeah, I could pull the president out now. We're on Air Force One right now. I could pull him and have a meeting, or we can call you back in a few minutes. I go, oh, no, just call me back because I knew I had to get it. I got to figure out how to fucking record the thing.
Right.
He goes, but what do you want to talk to him about? I go, oh, we had a long conversation about 3 weeks ago about immigration reform. I just need some closure on it. And he goes, all right, so we'll call you back. I call my friend in New York, who's just as fucking big as a scumbag as me. And I go, but you got to record this. If they call me, I'm going to pretend I'm the English dude. I'll patch you in, and I'll say, Senator, are you there? And then if you say yes, that means that I know that you're recording. So, sure enough, we have the president for you. You know, they call me.
Holy
The
shit.
girl is texting me,
Right.
where are you? I'm like, fuck, I'm about to talk to the fucking president. Leave me alone. You know, I'm driving around the block at this fucking Beverly Hills restaurant.
Wait, you're in a car?
Yeah, I'm in my car. I'm driving while I'm talking. So, you know, I finally get my friend on the phone. You know, is this dude named Justin. I get him on the phone, and I go, hello, Senator. Oh, you're there? He goes, yes. I know that he's recording. Then I take over from there. I go, yes, hello. Yes, I'm all set to talk to Donald. Donald comes on. Hey, Bob. And then we have this conversation. I'm driving around. He's talked to me so many times. I do not sound senatorial. No. I sound janitorial.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and then we have a 5-minute conversation on immigration reform, on the Supreme Court justice pick,
right.
And he's giving me like dates on when he's going to release stuff.
And the cell phone call doesn't drop, which is just wonderful.
We all heard the call.
Senator Melendez, are you still there, sir? Yes, sir. Sir, your call is connected. Hi, Bob. I will help you if you don't go too conservative. You know what I'm saying? Well, we will talk to you about it. We're going to probably make a decision, Bob, over the next 2 weeks. I think we're going to have a really good. We have some great choices. All right. Well, please, you know, keep me informed, and good luck on your trip. And thank you so much for taking my call. You take care. I will speak to you soon, Bob. Take care of yourself. All right. Thanks, Mr. President. Thank you, Bob. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. All right. Bye. I'm to you.
It was unbelievable.
And then at the end, I just said, and a Baba Booey to you all. I put that in just for fucking
right.
But that was it.
Why didn't you ask him about?
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. So trust me, I bow to you for doing this. But why didn't you ask about Stormy Daniels or something?
Yeah, you know, I should have.
Because I'll defend. Menendez wouldn't have asked him that. He was, wait a minute, who is this? You know what I mean?
Well,
I really believe in immigration and how big's your cock, Donald?
Right.
Yeah, like I could have done the goof. I could have done the Stuttering John thing and asked him, what shit he read on the bowl and all that stuff. But he would have known.
It doesn't take away from it. I was just wondering if you were even thinking that in your head.
No, I was thinking, should I go
all in, right?
here and just fucking start asking him, like, how big are her tits, and but I just didn't.
Donald, wave out the window to me.
Yeah, I just didn't want to, and I just thought it would be better to keep it like this. But nobody would believe us. We could not we fucking called everybody. Huffington Post, they wouldn't believe us. Nobody believed us. Finally, I called my friend.
Well, it's not I know it's true, but it's not believable.
Yeah, nobody would believe us. And I finally called the Daily Mirror, this guy Adam Levy. He always does stories. He did stories on you. And I just said, and he agreed to run with it, but said, he
probably said, but you got to guarantee me it's not true.
But he said, this, comedian claims to have gotten through. And then finally Politico came out with an article, and they said that the White House is scrambling to figure out how the fuck this happened. And that's when the Post, and then forget it. I was on everything.
That
CNN,
was as viral as you could get, man.
They called you back. I don't know how this happened. It's almost like I picked up the phone and dialed it.
It seems like he doesn't have much to do if he's calling you back.
No, and Jared Kushner, too. What an idiot. I mean, it's just crazy.
And then what happened after that?
I didn't have to go to Jared. He came to me.
Did you hire Michael Avenatti and then the Secret Service? Keep going with this thing.
Yeah, because then when it finally...
all right, let me stop you.
Well, truth be told, 1 minute into the call, somebody said, John, Michael Avenatti's on the other line.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
He smells meat.
Makes Dominic Barbara look like he slept through the 80s.
Smells dirty pussy. Oh, wow. So you're enjoying it wow, this is awesome for me, right? You're everywhere. When did it turn where you're like, holy fuck, now this is getting a little scary?
So then we're at the pub I hang out with in L.A. and me and my producer were having a fucking blast drinking. And
you like beers?
Yes, I like beer.
I like beer? You like beer
I like Devil's Triangle.
Right. You ever have too many?
Which is like quarters. Yeah, okay, fuck you. Fucking quarters, my ass. Anyway, so fucking I know what quarters is. You know what quarters is.
Sure.
Fucking that's what we were paid on the Stern Show. But no. But anyway, so after we're watching,
I used to say Howard threw around quarters like they were manhole covers.
So then we're watching the CNN and the Inside Edition. We're all celebrating. I get back to my house. The two neighborhood kids are sitting in front of my door. I go, what's going on? there was Secret Service here. They were knocking on your door. I'm like, get out of here. How do you know? They go, they showed them their badges and everything. You know, they were in suit jackets. I'm like, holy crap. And then, you know, and I go upstairs. I'm like, oh my God, you know. And so then, like I'm flipping out. And then, you know, so then I call Avenatti and I just tell him, look, I might be in some big trouble here. And he goes, I'll take care of it, you know. And then my agent calls me, which is even more unbelievable.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow, now you're going into weird territory.
Yeah. And then she says that the Secret Service contacted her, and they want me to call him. So I call from my pub's bathroom. I'm taking a dump. This is my thrown away from home, and I'm I'm on the phone, and I'm stuttering now, and I'm on the phone, and I'm calling them, and I go, hello, this is Secret Service. Yeah, this is John Melendez. Okay, I go. So do you want me to? They go, we want you to come downtown because we want to talk to you. I go, do you only want to talk to me, or do you want to arrest me? They go, we can't tell you that.
Wow.
And now I'm really shitting.
No kidding.
You know, and
now you know where the Secret Service office is in downtown LA.
Yeah. And then I go.
You also know they're kind of lazy if you got to get here on your own.
Yeah,
We're in the middle of a gin game.
And then I go.
I thought they pulled up in a black van at
really?
3 a.m.
Really?
Right?
And then
sneak around the corner.
And then I said, should I bring an attorney? They said, that's up to you. So then I call Avenatti again, and he's like, you're not going there tomorrow. I'll take it from here. And then he got me out of it. He told me, now I could say it. But he said that he got them to admit they're not going to arrest me, but he said, will you put that in writing? And they said no. And he said, then you're not going there, John. And that was it. And thank God for
so great.
But what can they arrest you for?
For impersonating a public official. But the only caveat to that is impersonating a public official for monetary value. I didn't make any money off of it, so. Right. It's a gray area, but I think they really wanted to know how the fuck I got through.
No. It makes them look bad. You know, if they blow it up, you know, it's like, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture?
Some stuttering idiot gets rid of the White House.
That's amazing. How much did that cost you? Did you have to pay Avenatti?
Oh, no, he didn't fucking. Yeah, he didn't care.
It for the publicity.
Yeah. I mean, you know. And he's been cool. And you know what was so great? Ron Howard started following me on Twitter, and he started writing good things. Elaine Boozler, Mark Hamill, like all these people, Seth Rogen.
Right.
Like they all started to follow me, and like, you know, we're all like, hey, you know, great job. You know, that was kind of cool.
That was
cool.
That's really great.
You know?
That really is amazing. Wow.
You know, I had a very weird thing happen that I don't even, you probably knew, and it didn't even dawn on me, the parallel. When the internet first started, nobody knew what the hell was going on. There was some kid in Connecticut said, I'll help you with your website. And in those days, I was just looking at the HTML and mimicking it and then putting it up and hoping it would come up, you know.
Right.
And this guy helped me, and he said, will you put a little, whatever you'd call it, on the front page of your website? And I said, no problem. Because I knew how to do that. It was but I thought it was a little ad, but it was a GIF, and I don't even know if I knew what a GIF was at the time. And he said it to me, and I just put it on the front. And I've got this. I'll email it to you guys. And I put it on my website. And I think it said Cloud9 was the name of his production. So here's this thing that said Cloud9. I owed it to him. He did a lot of stuff for me because people did so much for us guys for free because they loved us. And I don't know whether it was an hour later or the next day, Nancy goes, the Secret Service is on the phone. And I pick up the phone and say, yeah, how you doing? And they said, Jackie, because they know us. People know us. Like, you know. Yeah. Jackie, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what? They said, you have George Bush getting shot in the head on your website?
Oh, my God.
Do you remember this?
Shit,
I said, what are you talking about? They said, you have a little button on your website.
Yeah.
And when you roll the mouse over it, and what it was it said Cloud9. Then it said, I think it said, Jesus is coming. And then all of a sudden there's a picture of George Bush's head. A GIF just keeps changing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there was a gun next to his head. And the next frame, just red comes down his face.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, fuck! I said I had no idea, so I quick HTML and boom,
got it.
It was
got rid of it
off.
immediately, right?
And the guy's like, "Wow, you didn't know?" I said, "I had no idea. It was no kind of a statement." He said, "Well, we're all big fans." Me and Nancy wound up going to Washington D.C. We met the guy. He took us out to Ebbett's Grill for dinner, and then after hours, we went to the White House and we took pictures standing at I called it CJ's podium, but you know the Sarah Huckabee Flounders podium, and and we had a guided tour. Me and Nancy and this guy Mark took us around the White House, all because I had George Bush being shot in the fucking.
Wow!
I'll send it to you. It's amazing. You know?
I was in the same hotel as Bush in Arizona. I was doing a radio conference, and I was with Rich Voss. And the Secret Service, they recognized us and said, we're huge fucking O&A fans and Voss, you know. And we're like, hey, can we see the president? We're like, we're not that big of fans. They were like the outskirt guys.
Right.
But we hung out talking to them, and it was fun.
It's exciting crap. It is, you know, it's wild shit, you know. But the Secret Service, they're just regular guys.
Right, of course.
You know? And they actually said to us, they said, you know, it's kind of tight in here.
Right.
You know, years ago when Clinton was running this White House, he said we'd be having beers in the fucking hallway with you. You know?
No kidding.
I was probably exaggerating, but he said it was so much more lax.
They said to me, they're like, we listened to your show while we're on the job. I'm like, that's crazy to think.
Yeah,
So,
that is crazy.
some of the stuff we got to do.
Yeah,
right?
you know, who knew? I mean, for all I know, those Secret Service people, you know, we're just fans. I mean, who knows?
Right.
You know, but it didn't seem that way. I don't know.
I think your situation's a little different.
Yeah, I think it was a little different. But then, you know, Kathy Griffin's calling me. She's like, John, don't fuck around. You know, they put me on a no-fly list and all this shit.
What she did was insane.
He said,
what
you
what
chopped
she
his
did
head
was
off.
insane.
No, I know.
But still,
How was she surprised by that?
You know, of course they got pissed. That was idiotic. But
Right.
still, it's fucking comedy and it's bullshit.
Right.
You know, she's not going to cut anybody's head off.
What do you think?
Except her own, hopefully.
Jackie, what do you think about that, though, like, where people can't laugh anymore at their guy or their party? It's like, funny's funny, right? You come from this world, and we're all old enough where
I don't
we remember.
go near any of that shit.
But what do you think happened in this country where now you can't, if you're a Trump supporter, you are not going to laugh at the Trump stuff online or the Trump jokes or the opening skit on SNL.
It's just,
you're not going to laugh at it.
It's like the parting of the Red Sea, and it keeps getting worse and worse. Like,
You know what? A black man was elected president, and then it brought out so many of the racist people in this country.
I've been telling people for a long time
and that's where
now,
the Tea Party came and all this.
Right.
We're walking around. Well, I know where everybody stands, but the people I know and the liberal people I know, everybody's walking around like, and Trump is president, and everybody's walking around like, how in God's fuck did that happen? But when Obama was president, all those people out there, the rednecks, whatever, were saying
The exact same
how
thing.
the fuck
Yeah, of course.
this happened.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
But I mean, Johnny Carson understood it because technically he didn't know where he stood politically. Cause
He just
understood
walked right down the line.
Well, that's what Jay Leno. That's the genius of Jay. He
fuck with the golf score.
It was always.
But Jay seemed
us.
to make fun of both sides.
No. That's what he
now
did.
these late night shows, they only make fun of the one side.
and I've talked to Jay about that, and he thinks it's a big mistake because
on his part.
No, on their
the
part.
new guys,
because they're just alienating half the country. Like Jay would do, like we would know that if we had, like I did drop-ins, and monologue jokes, but if there were 10 jokes against George Bush, there would have to be 10 jokes.
Oh, they would
almost like in the old days on the
against
if you had a political guy from one party.
What was it called?
Yeah.
Equal time,
whatever.
Yeah, it always had with Jay. And that I think is what cost Jay, or at least the writing staff. That's why we were never nominated to win an Emmy, because people felt that we were like the sellouts and we weren't cutting edge. But look,
Namby-pamby.
But yeah, Jay was always number one in the ratings. So it's it's give and take. Do you want a fucking trophy or do you want
I don't
money?
I don't watch late night TV anymore. I can't stand it.
I don't either.
I mean, I don't mind a good Trump joke, but when you see they're not making fun of the other side and then they're playing all those goofy fucking games, I'm like, I'd rather be on Netflix trying to find a documentary or something.
Doing your best to watch the new Jim Carrey show.
Right.
Why is that bad?
I don't know.
Thank you, because I've tried too. I'm 3 episodes in, and I'm like, I don't know what this.
I watched
what they're
one
trying
and
to
a
do
half.
here.
I watched 1.5.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend was going to kill me, so was alone last night, and I started from the beginning, and I got through whatever. I think I got through 4, and I like that guy. I know he's an odd motherfucker, and he got a lot of skeletons in his closet. But
he's been.
But they're trying to make it. I'm thinking it's so fucking weird that I'm banking on I don't get it, and when I get it, I'm going to be glad.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah, and then you got that aha moment or that wow moment. Like, damn, this is good.
It
this
sucks
is smart.
when you don't get it. You know, the whole world watched Breaking Bad. I watched the first 2 episodes of Breaking Bad, and I was just like, no, no, I don't.
I didn't watch 1 episode of Breaking Bad, but I was all in with Better Call Saul, which is so stupid.
So much good shit.
Right. That's the new cheating, by the way, when you watch, a show that you both watch, but you're watching it without her.
Yeah.
Oh,
How dare you?
You can't get ahead.
Right.
You can't get ahead.
That's the new cheating.
Oh, watch this part. I mean, I haven't seen this yet.
Right. No, we're going to watch this together.
That's pretty fucking sad if that's cheating. God, no wonder my cock isn't talking.
I'm fans of the old.
Wait, you're now low on the mic there, Carl. Now that Carl's in that spot. Mike, help him out. Or eat that mic. Go ahead, Carl. The Cuban.
It says they can't hear me, Mike. You piece of shit.
Once again, at Mike Sappho, S-A-F-O.
I drank beer all night. I felt bloated the whole morning.
Hashtag headphones, asshole.
Just eat the mic.
How's that?
Better.
You got to turn up the trim, Mike. Mike, Mr. Sappho.
Go ahead, Cuban.
All right. I just want to say a big.
That's some producer. What's this button for? What's this button for?
He's learning. Wow.
What's this button?
No, I watched.
Did you hear my new priest joke?
No.
The 2 priests are driving along, and the cops pull them over, and the cop comes up to the priest that's driving, and he says, "We're looking for a couple child molesters." And the priest looks at the other priest, and he turns back to the cop, and he says, "We'll do it." I had to tell one joke. One plug. I'm on Twitter, at Jackie Martling, every day at 4:20. Disgusting, racist, horrible. They're not really racist, but people say, "What do you do?" I don't alter anything. I do a Jew joke and a black joke and a Chinese joke, and it's, I don't know how harmless or not harmless it is, but I haven't changed my stripes. There's only one time I ever edited. It's so funny because, if I got black people in the audience, I stare at them, and Chinese people, because it's fucking harmless.
Right.
But I did a show in Florida, I swear on my mother, in the front 2 seats was a midget and his girlfriend. And they were both midgets, and their feet were dangling. And I just couldn't, because I do 5 or 6 midget jokes in a row. I said, if I do this, they're going to think I'm just doing that just to be mean. But meanwhile, the rest of the crowd had no fucking idea they were midgets. Right. Because they're normal till you get to their fucking legs. Right. Oh, Jesus Christ. But that's the one time I edited.
You mind if we hear the midget joke, though?
Well, it's going around, but it's the greatest fucking joke where the guy smashes in a car in front of him and the other driver gets out. It's a dwarf. And the dwarf goes and looks at the damage and comes to the guy's window. He says, "I'm not happy." The guy says, "Well, then which one are you?" Which is just great. That's the funniest fucking joke I've ever heard in my life.
I love midget jokes.
Wow. I think we did it, man. We're coming to your house, though, Jackie. We're still doing that podcast.
I'm going to make steaks. I make the world's greatest cocktail sauce. John knows that. It's still warm enough to swim.
Okay.
And we'll go up on the deck, and nice day, bad day, doesn't matter.
We'll do it in the next couple weeks,
You'll love Barbara Klein. You'll have a great time.
I'm taking the Cuban with me. Is that all right?
Yeah. Please.
I'll bring my passport. And another thing is, I want to try to cook steaks with you. That would be fun.
Maybe we'll have a little contest. You're going to put all that weird crap that you people use?
What do you mean?
Like hot sauce and caballero and all that shit.
I thought you meant cocaine.
Do you cook it on the barbecue, Jack, or?
Yeah, it depends. It depends. But usually steak on the barbecue and chicken on the Weber. All
right.
We'll have a fucking field day. We'll have a great time. I'll invite a few people over. John, tell them. One thing, the parties were always spectacular.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
One last question. Is his hair
8 inches?
Is his hair real?
What?
Howard's.
It's so funny that people always ask that. I never, ever...
Because it's becoming more and more obvious that it's not.
I never considered that it might be, What might not be, and then somebody had that picture of him on lettuce, on Letterman, where his head was up. But the point is,
wait, you guys don't even know?
Wait, the E guys ISO'd when he was having a wrestle with Gary Busey or something, and they ISO'd a part where it looked like there was some webbing on there or something.
But the point is,
swallowed a spider.
It could very well be a wig or not. But the big thing in question is, where was the transition? There had to be a transition. Now, of course, he's got the money and the wherewithal to do whatever.
Well, Well, were you there when? Because speaking of transitions, I was. The E guys always knew I'd be the guy to call anybody out, including Howard. And so they pulled me aside, and right before we went on, hiatus, they had a still of Howard and his nose. And then when we got back from, hiatus, they had a still up of Howard and his nose. It was obvious he got a nose job. And I went right into the studio and go, Howard, what'd you do over the hiatus? And he goes, I don't know, I hung out. And I go, you got a nose job, didn't you? And he goes, no, I didn't. I go, yes, you did. He goes, no, I didn't. And he denied it.
Was I gone?
I don't know, but he finally, years later on Sirius, he finally admitted that was his big thing. Yes, I got a nose job. Oh.
He used to sit there and obsess, and I mean obsess. He'd have a picture of himself, and he would draw a line, what his nose would be like if that little bump was there.
Because he had a bump.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
who the
I wouldn't call it little. It was
like him getting a nose job. That's bump. Like throwing a fucking deck chair off the Titanic. Who the fuck? What the fuck?
That's such an old joke.
No, but
how old are you?
No, but how
we would use that in Tony Tina's wedding. Right.
But how perfect an analogy.
Look at the fat one. She lost 10 pounds. That's like throwing a deck chair off the Titanic.
But the point is, it's not a joke. It's an analogy. It's a perfect analogy.
It's a good analogy.
You know what was the other analogy? The same throwing a deck chair off the Titanic was Ed Moyer, weighed like 400 pounds, and he got a fucking earring. I'm like, why? Why? I mean,
he passed away. You know that, right?
Yeah. Frank Flores wrote a fantastic book about him. But
really?
It's not. It's called Ted. Lunch with Ted, and it's so fucking fun. Because he was a fucking character. He was wilder than any of us.
He probably has better publisher than I do. I haven't heard of any book release party.
The book is being published sometime.
Easy for you to say on Amazon, and there's every. I don't hold back at all. There's no filter. Jay Leno does the forward, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what's the worst story you tell about him in the book? Or give me one good Jay Leno story. I was too focused on Howard, but I forgot that you got Jay Leno stories in there.
God, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know what would be the. Oh, Jackie's doing sign language here.
Don't do your fucking plug.
What are you doing, Jackie?
I'm trying to get something for you. Doing your plug.
All right, no, I was just talking about Jay Leno.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and you can follow me on Twitter at Stuttering John.
Yeah, give me one Jay Leno story, then we'll wrap up.
All right, well,
from the book.
Jay Leno has massive. OCD. I mean, I have it too.
Obviously, with the blue shirt thing.
Yeah, the blue shirt thing. But the worst. Well, there's two.
I thought he was going to say he has a massive.
Oh, he does. Well, that's another story.
He's got to have a big dick, too. I would assume.
No, he does.
Yeah, I would assume.
Sandra Bernhardt talked about it on Stern, how he used to handcuff her, and he had like a huge,
huge
long schlong. I can tell you, I'll tell you one Jay Leno story off the air because he probably wouldn't appreciate me telling it on the air. But
don't tell me.
About tying the girl up.
Yeah, do you know this?
Yeah.
How do you know it?
Wait, you know this? Wait, you know the story? He's going to tell me off air.
I knew it 40 years ago.
You either tell me on air, or I don't want to hear it because that'll drive me nuts.
No, it's harmless.
All right, I'll tell the story. Jay was banging some girl in Manhattan. This is before he was married. Jay doesn't cheat on anything. And he was banging some girl, and he had her handcuffed, and it was during the day, but then he realized that
he wrecked how could you?
I think I know this story too.
He met a girl at a club, and went back to her apartment,
right,
and it was at night, and he tied her up, and to be funny, he left it, and he realized he had to go move his car because his car was going to get towed. He went and moved his car, and Manhattan is a different place when the sun comes up.
Yeah, I see that.
And he walked out thinking, of course, he's going to remember where, and he came back.
He had no idea where he was.
So
she's still up there.
She's still up there tied up. I even heard that story.
Oh, all right. So I don't know.
Jesus.
But Jack, I heard it the other way. I heard it was during the day, and then at night he.
6 to 1. It's a great.
It doesn't matter. But
the important part of the story is she's still there.
Yeah.
That's what we love.
But anyway, the story that I don't know. I asked Jay to weigh his head on the because I had a bit called is his head bigger than mine, and it was like you put Jay's head in space, and then you play 2001 Space Odyssey, and then you have like Kim Jong-un's, and then Jay's would come over and eclipse it, you know. And that's what
funny.
So a writer was like, but we can manipulate the picture. I think it should be what weighs more than Jay's head. And I go, all right, well, what do you mean? I go, you mean like, what weighs more, Jay's head or an average sized pumpkin? And he goes, yeah. So I go, all right, so let's go in there, but I'm not pitching it alone. He goes, yeah. So we go into Jay's office. The other writer doesn't say a word. He hangs out by the door. Of
course.
And I go, Jay, we have this new bit. What weighs more than your head? And he goes, all right, if you think that's funny. I go, yeah. So, I go, so we have a bathroom scale here. I go, do me a favor, lie down and put your head on the scale. This is in his office. And me, him, and the writer's assistant. And Jay's lying down, putting his gargantuan fucking head on the scale. And it's only weighing 4 pounds. Then the average head weighs 8. Because Jay was so insecure about his fucking head that he wouldn't put his full weight.
Right.
So we killed the bit. But the OCD story is that big head of Jay's. He would bang it against his office, and Jay had a small office. It was like the size of this room,
tiny.
Because Jay has that working man mentality.
Yeah. Right.
So he banged the hole
by accident.
What?
He's banging it just because it
no,
bang?
Because his chair would hit the wall, and sometimes that fucking that fucking.
But he's not nuts like he banging his head.
No. It would just hit him once in a while, and that wrecking ball of a head put a big fucking hole inside of the wall.
Oh, there's got to be a picture of that.
So he goes. So we all go on hiatus, and when he gets back, someone had the wall replaced, fixed. Jay freaked out. He goes, no, I want that fucking wall back with my fucking head imprint.
Oh, my God.
And they had to find the sheetrock and put the fucking, had to put the wall back.
Because he earned it. He earned it.
No, it's just, he's so OCD about it.
Right.
This is my favorite one.
All right, let's go.
All right, this is my favorite one. Jay has to touch a few things. Like, he'll walk down the hallway. He's got to touch, like, the walls and touch different things all the time. Even when he tells a joke, like, if you watch it, like... the Tonight Show, they try and cut around it, but if he cracks a joke, he always he always taps the like the desk, or he'll like touch the bottom of his glass.
Oh my!
But the same way each time?
Yeah. Like that. So one time he has to touch this special doorknob before he goes on the stage. So while I'm doing the announce, like it's Tonight Show, Jay Leno, he always touches that doorknob and then runs onto the stage. So a writer friend of mine, Anthony Koleka, thinks it would be funny to stand right in front of the doorknob. So the announcer's being done,
great.
And Jay is looking straight at Anthony's face, and he's trying to make small talk, like, hey, how you doing, Anthony? And you can see he's getting a little nervous, and it's sweating. It's coming out of that humongous fucking forehead. Pouring, and he's like, hey, and now Jay Leno, and he goes, and then he fucking reaches behind Anthony, fucking touches the doorknob, and runs back up the stage.
and then he's smooth out there, like nothing's wrong with him.
That's great.
He was losing his mind because he couldn't do his routine.
You gotta love that.
Yeah, there's a lot in the book, and like all his childhood stories are great, and there's he would. Jackie, you'll love this one. Jay doesn't ever remember like faces. He's not good with faces, and this is in the book. I hope Jay doesn't get mad at me.
He's gonna,
but he probably will.
He's gonna.
Yeah, he probably will. So he for instance, Trista was a guest. Like the Bachelorette girl, she was a guest on the show.
Right.
And, did a whole segment. After the segment, she walks, off and whatever, and Jay goes to his car, and it's in like the midway. That's where our cars are parked. Trista comes up to Jay. Hey, Jay, can I have a picture? And he goes, yeah, sure. He goes, what's your name? She goes, Jay, it's Trista. I just did a fucking segment on your show. He had no idea. That's okay. I'm building here.
Yeah.
Then a girl who he used to date,
Trista.
Not Trista, no. There's Adele, her name was. he dated her for 2 years, banged her, whatever. 2 years. Then, and now he's with his wife, whatever. He sees Adele, I think in France, and she comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, Jay." Hey, Jay. Hey, how's it going? Jay, it's fucking Adele. Oh, how you doing?
That's what all those songs sang.
Because remember, this is the girl he banged for 2 years. He doesn't remember. But here's the best one. He's at the Comedy Store. George Lopez.
He's building.
I am. George Lopez.
Is there any mail for me?
Hopefully this wall will be built before Trump's.
All right. Anyway. All right. No, it's
What a great podcast.
This is a funny story. So George Lopez was very mad at Jay because, he felt that Jay didn't put him on the show enough. So Jay's at the Comedy Store. He sees George. He goes up to George. He goes, "Hey, listen,
you're Spanish. I don't like it."
No, he goes, "Listen, I don't choose the guest. It's not up to me. I got producers to choose that." And the guy goes, "Jay, I'm not George Lopez. I'm Paul Rodriguez."
Yeah.
I told you. I was
Now that's a
building
good
Jay.
one.
I told you I was building.
I'm going to get a little comedy editing and say, "Open with that."
No, because it's all Jay not remembering anybody.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
That's funny, though.
That is really good.
That's good.
We did it, man. This was awesome. For real. Stuttering John, looking forward to maybe reading the book.
Yeah,
Maybe.
It's a
I'm
lot
not
of
gonna lie.
fun.
Hey, I don't
Maybe
know when
I'll
this
read
is
it.
coming out, but we're doing a show Friday night at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, me and John,
Yes.
and it's going to be great fun. That's this Friday.
I heard it was a great show.
Oh, it's going to be motherfucker.
I did 30 minutes.
I heard you guys killed. Holy fuck.
I did 30 minutes, 3 jokes.
Right. I heard it was amazing.
At Jackie Martling on Twitter. Please follow it.
Yes.
And don't forget, Easy for You to Say is coming out. Get it before Howard sues me.
Sometime.
And then
October 16th is the date.
And this is my new book.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Jesus, your fucking ass is out.
Which one is
you know
that?
what? Not. You got some nice cheeks there, Jackie.
Is that
A new joke book.
a new joke book? Jesus.
Oh, it's a couple months old.
How old are you now?
58.
Nice. Looking good. Yes,
I want to ask because that's an amazing body, bro.
That's like literally 10 years ago. That was when I was 60.
Oh, really? Good for you. All right, I'll take that with me. Thank you. And I apologize. There was nothing, from that appearance.
No, I didn't. I was just always
No one
perplexing
told
to
me.
because
No,
you were,
things we got.
because you were so complimentary. I go, was he bullshitting me?
No, I liked
And it
having
went
you on
so
a lot,
well.
but things were just
Yeah,
obviously
no, I
not
got
there anymore because things were already getting so fucking weird and out of control.
No,
so.
and
which place, which show?
And you were laughing your ass
Sirius
off
XM.
about how uncomfortable it was when I was talking to Eugene Levy and his.
Yeah. No,
and I
you
was
did great for the show. So no, and it had nothing to do with Howard or the company. So.
Yeah, I was making the Fred Willard jokes.
Yeah, no, it was great. All right.
All right. Anyway, thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
Opie.
John. Stuttering John,
Greg.
Jackie the Jokeman. We're gonna do it from your house. Now you get 2 episodes of my podcast.
I was hoping this wasn't going to rule that out. I'm really thrilled.
No, Jackie's house. I love Jackie. He has like the best house on the beach. It's beautiful. It's right on the sound. He cooks great, and the weed is fantastic.
There you go.
Can't go wrong. Bring your own pussy.
Do you get old school Howard Stern fans still driving by and all that horse shit?
No, I never did. It's funny
just
because
left you alone,
he used
right?
to break my balls that I had all these shacks, and I could never fight back because the truth is, where I live, the houses are all small because it's a small little area.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to talk about it now, but it's bad enough people come looking for you. No reason to pinpoint it, so I wouldn't defend and explain my reasoning for why I was there. But the reason we were there led to me being where I am. So the whatever the plot was worked. So it's
no idea what you said.
All right, awesome.
No, like he would break my balls because all the houses in the area is like
Talk about leaving with a dud.
It's Appalachia by the sea, so all the houses are small.
I understand.
Of course you do.
Fuck.
Come over and see me.
That's how we end today with a big fat turd. Thanks to these guys for real. Joey, take it away.
You got it.
That was awesome.
It certainly was. Check out the links in the description to grab Jackie or John's books. There are also video links to references made during this episode. Check them out. And please rate us 5 stars and leave us a comment at Apple Podcasts. Visit OpieRadio.com for merch like hats and shirts or a stream of this show. Now let's do a few shout-outs. Opie Radio follow-backs. So let's look out into our magic window and give a great big Opie Radio follow-back to the following. At DMan714. At Kaiser the Hater. At The Paper Army. At Opie Quotes. At G Billy. At Silvio Giacinto. At Ryan_Sharman. And at LaCroix_1972. Follow them on Twitter because, like you, they get what we're doing here. Until next time, thanks for downloading this free podcast known as Opie Radio. The Westwood One Podcast Network, the Daily Wire's Ben Shapiro Show.
After Kavanaugh, it's down to a statistical tie. A 10-point advantage for Democrats just evaporated over 2 weeks. By the way, it's not just a bunch of animated Republicans. Women are not happy with this. That's among white women.
The Ben Shapiro Show. Download and subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and the Westwood One Podcast app. Free from the Westwood One Podcast Network.